in the lightweight division, the best division in the UFC. At UFC Fight Night, we got a newcomer, but first, you got Joe Solecki coming in at 12-3, taking on newcomer Carl Deaton, who comes in at 17-5, and he trains with American top team. So keep that in mind throughout the prediction. Solecki is going to be 2 inches taller at 5'9". He's got a 2-inch reach advantage, 71-69 over Deaton. Both guys stand right-handed. Now, we have limited stat information on Carl Deaton because in other promotions, they really don't keep track of the stats as well. But Solecki lands about 2.5 significant strikes per minute, not great, but 2.4 takedowns also over the course of 3 rounds. But Carl Deaton is no stranger to the ground, having like 9 wins by submission. But hold off on that 1 second. Solecki, 50% takedown defense, and that's why this fight is scheduled and going to be a very interesting situation because Joe Solecki cannot defend the takedowns very well, and Carl Deaton's going to go for him. But at the same time, Solecki wins, beating Alex da Silva by majority decision. He did lose to Jared Gordon, but before that he beat Jim Miller. That's a tough out by decision. Austin Hubbard, submission. Matt Wyman, decision. And he submitted James Wallace, 5-1 in the UFC. And that's pretty impressive and hard to see a guy coming from the outside to beat him. But hold on a minute. Carl Deaton, 17 wins, 3 of those by KO, 9 by submission. So 12 of the 17 wins are by finish. He's got 5 decision wins. He's also lost 5 fights, right? In every which way. 3 decisions, 1 KO, and 1 submission. And as we look through, he does have a win over Justin James back in February of 2022. Justin James, a decent fighter, right? Has a little bit of UFC experience. He lost to Charles Rose, to Devontae Smith, Gabriel Benitez, and quickly found his way out of the UFC. He came in and beat Frank Camacho and then went on a tremendous losing streak, and now he's no longer in the UFC. So at least for Carl Deaton's sake, he has a win over a quality opponent, but I don't think it's going to be good enough to beat Joe Solecki. But I am cautioning you that Carl Deaton could very well expose the 50% takedown defense by Joe Solecki. If he doesn't pick that up in this fight, that's going to be a problem and something to watch. Carl Deaton, a major underdog. I got to go with Joe Solecki, not because Deaton's an underdog, but the fact that the guy's 5-1 in the UFC and he's taking on a newcomer. But the problem is it's not the best matchup for Solecki. So anything can really happen. But I'm going to ride with the experience in Joe Solecki, that he still gets the job done here. Wins by decision to move to 13-3. And it's mostly going to be hopefully on takedown defense and striking. Although that's not his best suit. I don't know if he wants to go to the ground with Carl Deaton. We'll see. But always interesting in the lightweight division going down here at UFC Fight Night.